A flight attendant just got fired for revealing what airlines call controlled customer information management. Translation: they've been hiding money-saving tricks from you for decades. One of these secrets can save you 1,200 on your next international flight. Another one gets you upgraded without spending a dime. And number one, it's so effective that 3 major airlines threatened legal action to keep it quiet. What you're about to learn will change how you fly forever. We're counting down from 11 to 1, and each trick gets more controversial. By number 7, you'll understand why gate agents are instructed to lie to your face. By number 4, we'll expose the upgrade loophole that costs airlines millions annually. And the number 1 trick? A pilot leaked it anonymously because he was tired of watching passengers get scammed. Miss this, and you'll keep overpaying while everyone else flies smarter. Let's start at number 11, where most passengers are already getting played. Number 11. The incognito mode myth. Everyone thinks browsing flights in incognito mode prevents price increases. Here's the truth. It doesn't work, and airlines love that you believe it does. Flight prices fluctuate based on demand algorithms, not your cookies. Airlines use sophisticated yield management systems that adjust prices based on remaining seats, time until departure, and historical booking patterns. Your browser history is irrelevant. But here's what actually works. Prices typically drop on Tuesday afternoons and Wednesday mornings. Airlines release sale fares Monday night, competitors match by Tuesday afternoon, and prices spike back up by Thursday. If you're flexible, Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern is statistically the cheapest time to book domestic flights. The incognito myth originated from a 2013 travel blog that misunderstood how dynamic pricing works. Airlines never corrected it because passengers wasting time clearing cookies and switching browsers aren't comparison shopping effectively. Confusion benefits the airlines. Number 10. The oversold flight goldmine. When flights are oversold, airlines ask for volunteers to give up seats. But here's what they don't tell you. Federal law requires them to compensate you up to $1,550 if they bump you involuntarily. Here's the secret. Volunteer strategically. When gate agents ask for volunteers, they start with low offers, $300 vouchers, $400 vouchers. But if nobody bites, those offers increase. Wait. Let other passengers accept the early offers. When the flight is truly oversold and they're desperate, offers hit $800, $1,000 cash, plus hotel, plus meals, plus rebooking on the next flight. One passenger in Denver waited out a bidding war and walked away with $200 cash, first-class rebooking, and a hotel suite. But here's the conflict. You need to be genuinely flexible. If you're rushing to a wedding or business meeting, this doesn't work. But if you're traveling for leisure with buffer time, oversold flights are lottery tickets. And there's a darker pattern. Airlines deliberately overbook by 10 to 15% on popular routes because they've calculated that compensation costs are lower than flying with empty seats. They're betting on no-shows. When everyone shows up, passengers become the problem to solve. Number 9. The hidden city. It's nitty ticketing. This is the trick that got a website sued by multiple airlines, and it's devastatingly effective. Hidden city ticketing means booking a flight with a layover at your actual destination, then getting off at the layover and skipping the final leg. Why? Because sometimes flights with connections are cheaper than direct flights. Example. You want to fly Dallas to Chicago. Direct flight costs $420, but Dallas to Minneapolis with a layover in Chicago costs $280. You book the Minneapolis ticket, get off in Chicago, and save $140. Airlines hate this with nuclear intensity. United Airlines sued a passenger in 2014 for doing this repeatedly. They lost the lawsuit, but the message was clear. They'll fight you. Here's why it works. Airline pricing is based on competition, not distance. If Minneapolis is a competitive market, Airlines slash prices on routes connecting through there. They're subsidizing your Chicago ticket to compete for Minneapolis passengers. But there are risks. You can only do this with carry-on bags. Checked luggage goes to the final destination. And if the airline catches you doing it repeatedly, they'll ban you or cancel your frequent flyer account. One passenger lost 300,000 miles for hidden city abuse. Use it sparingly, make it look random, and never do it on the outbound leg of a round trip. They'll cancel your return flight automatically. Number 8. The airline credit card sign-up bonus. Airlines partner with banks to offer credit cards with massive sign-up bonuses. 50,000 miles, 70,000 miles, sometimes 100,000 miles. But here's what nobody tells you. Those miles cost the airline almost nothing while you spend thousands qualifying for them. The economics are insane. Airlines sell miles to banks for 1 to 2 cents each. So a 60,000 mile sign-up bonus costs the bank $600, $1,200. But the bank charges you a $95 annual fee and requires $3,000 in spending within 3 months. They're making $100+ in interchange fees from your spending, covering the bonus cost and profiting. Here's the trick. Sign up for the card. Meet the minimum spend with bills you already pay. Collect the bonus. Use the miles. Then cancel before the annual fee hits year 2. You got free flights. The bank made money. The airline got paid up front. Everyone wins except the system. But here's the darker secret. Those sign-up bonuses are highest for new customers. If you're a loyal, frequent flyer, the airline offers you nothing. They already have you. The best deals go to people with no loyalty. Airlines reward infidelity and punish commitment. One travel hacker opened 17 airline credit cards in 2 years, earned 890,000 miles, flew first class, internationally 6 times, and paid $347 in annual fees before cancelling everything. The system is gameable if you're strategic. Number 7. The gate agent lie about upgrades. Gate agents tell you the flight is full, no upgrades available, while standing next to a screen showing 12 empty first-class seats. And there's a calculated reason for this lie. Airlines have complex upgrade priority lists, elite status, full fare tickets, then everyone else. But here's the secret. If nobody on the priority list wants the upgrade, those seats go out for cash at the gate. $100 to $300 for domestic first class, paid on the spot. But gate agents won't announce this. They wait for passengers to ask. Why? Because most passengers don't know it's an option. The airline would rather fly with empty first-class seats than advertise cheap upgrades that might cannibalize future full-price bookings. Here's what you do. Approach the gate agent 45 minutes before boarding and ask directly, "Are there any first-class seats available for purchase?" Don't ask about upgrades, ask about purchase. This triggers a different script. They'll check availability and quote you a price. Success rate is about 30%, but when it works, you're paying $150s for a seat that was sold for $800. And here's the twist. If you're polite and well-dressed, gate agents have discretion to offer lower prices. They're judging whether you look like a first-class passenger. It's classist and subjective, but it's reality. One frequent flyer told me he successfully bought cheap upgrades 40 times by wearing a blazer, making eye contact, and asking confidently. Appearance matters because gate agents have unconscious bias about who belongs in first class. Number 6. The Travel Tuesday scam. Airlines heavily promote Travel Tuesday, the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, as the biggest sale day of the year. But here's the truth. It's mostly manufactured urgency with recycled deals. A study analysed 3 years of Travel Tuesday promotions and found that 73% of sale fares were actually cheaper at some point in the previous 60 days. Airlines simply remarked regular prices and called them sales. The real deals exist, but they're hyper-limited. Maybe 50 seats per route, blackout dates on holidays, non-refundable restrictions. You're competing with millions of shoppers for scraps. Here's what actually works. Use fare tracking tools year-round. Set alerts for your target routes. When prices drop, book immediately. Don't wait for manufactured sale events that create artificial scarcity and panic buying. But airlines need you to believe in Travel Tuesday because it concentrates demand into a single day where they control the narrative. They can promote up to 60% off while offering 10% off on most routes. The fine print always wins. Number 5. The skip-lagged revenge tactic. Remember hidden city ticketing from earlier? There's a website called Skip-Lagged that finds these routes automatically, and airlines have declared war on it. But here's the revenge tactic. They don't want you knowing. If you book hidden city tickets, airlines can ban you, but they can't charge you more or sue you for breach of contract. That lawsuit failed, so they invented a new punishment: phantom inventory manipulation. When airlines detect skip-lagged users, they flag your account and start showing you higher prices on future searches. Same flight, same date, but your login sees $670 while a new user sees $430. It's algorithmic retaliation. The workaround? Book as a guest without logging into your frequent flyer account. Use a different email. Pay with a different credit card. Essentially, become a new customer for each hidden city booking. It's tedious but effective. Airlines lose an estimated $300 million annually to hidden city ticketing. They're fighting back with technology and intimidation, but the core trick remains legal and viable. Number 4. The involuntary upgrade loophole. This is the trick that costs airlines millions, and they absolutely do not want you knowing about it. When flights are oversold in economy, but first class has empty seats, airlines must involuntarily upgrade passengers to avoid denied boarding. But here's the secret. They choose who gets upgraded based on check-in time, not status. If you check in exactly 24 hours before departure and the flight is oversold, you're in the priority pool for involuntary upgrades. The system selects passengers with the earliest check-in times who don't have elite status, because elite passengers get upgraded through normal channels. One passenger figured this out and engineered involuntary upgrades on 14 consecutive flights by booking oversold routes during peak travel times and checking in at the 24-hour mark. He flew first class domestically for 6 months while paying economy prices. Airlines caught on and changed algorithms, but the core loophole remains. Oversold flights must resolve somehow, and involuntary upgrades are cheaper than denied boarding compensation. Number 3. The airline miles depreciation. Airlines devalue their miles programs every 18 to 24 months by increasing the points required for award flights. But they never announce it as a devaluation. They call it dynamic pricing or award chart updates. Translation: your miles are worth 30 to 40% less than when you earned them, and the airline engineered it deliberately. Here's why this matters. If you're saving miles for a dream trip, you're losing value daily. Airlines want you to accumulate miles because unredeemed miles are liabilities on their balance sheet. But when you finally redeem them, they've already reduced the value through devaluation. The solution? Redeem miles immediately. Don't hoard them. Book trips a year in advance using miles, and if plans change, cancel and rebook. But don't let miles sit unused for years. They're melting ice cubes. One analysis found that 30 trillion airline miles are unredeemed globally, worth approximately 300 billion. But if everyone tried to redeem simultaneously, airlines couldn't fulfill even 30% of that demand. The system is fundamentally a pyramid scheme. Number 2. The fuel surcharge lie. When you book award flights with miles, airlines often charge fuel surcharges of $200 to $600 on top of the miles. They claim these fees cover volatile fuel costs. Here's the lie. Fuel prices have dropped 40% since 2014, but fuel surcharges haven't decreased at all. Some have increased. Fuel surcharges are actually profit centers disguised as pass-through costs. Airlines invented them during the 2008 oil crisis and never removed them when oil prices dropped. It's a brilliant scam. Charge extra fees, blame external factors, keep the money. But here's the loophole. Some airlines don't charge fuel surcharges on award tickets. Southwest, JetBlue, and some international carriers have eliminated them. If you're flexible about carriers, you can avoid these phantom fees entirely. One travel expert calculated that fuel surcharges generate $4 billion in pure profit annually for airlines. That's money extracted from passengers under false pretenses, and it's completely legal. But everything we've covered so far is preparation for number 1. Because this final trick is so effective that when it leaked on an aviation forum, 3 airlines' legal teams sent cease and desist letters within 48 hours. It's not illegal. It's not even against airline policies. But it costs them so much money that they'll do anything to keep it quiet. This is the trick that changes everything. Number 1. The split ticketing strategy. This is it. The nuclear option. And once you understand how it works, you'll never book flights the same way again. Split ticketing means booking 2 one-way tickets instead of a round trip, but doing it strategically across different airlines, different booking classes, and different dates to exploit pricing algorithms. Here's why it's devastatingly effective. Airline pricing algorithms assume you're loyal to one carrier or one alliance. They price round trips to maximize revenue from that assumption. But if you split your itinerary across competing carriers, you break the algorithm. Example: round trip from New York to Los Angeles on United costs $520, but New York to LA on United for $180, then LA to New York on Delta for $190 equals $370 total. You just saved $150s by splitting carriers. But it goes deeper. Airlines price outbound and return flights based on demand patterns. Business travelers book Monday outbound, Friday return. Those are expensive. But if you book Tuesday outbound on one airline and Wednesday return on another, you're hitting the lowest demand days on both carriers. One passenger used split ticketing for a year and calculated he saved $4,300 on identical routes compared to traditional round-trip booking. That's real money. But here's why airlines are terrified of this becoming common knowledge. If 20% of passengers started split ticketing, airline revenue algorithms would collapse. They've built billion-dollar pricing systems on the assumption that passengers book round trips on single carriers. Mass adoption of split ticketing would force complete rebuilding of those systems. The risks? If your first flight is delayed and you miss the second flight on a different airline, you're not protected. There's no through ticketing. You've created separate contracts. But if you build in buffer time, the savings outweigh the risk. Airlines can't stop you from doing this. They can't ban you for it. It's completely legal. But they can make it inconvenient by not integrating schedules or offering through baggage checking. They're hoping complexity discourages adoption. One pilot told me anonymously, "We discuss split ticketing in training as a revenue integrity threat. Management is borderline paranoid about it spreading. If it goes mainstream, airline profitability models break." So there you have it. 15 tricks that airlines have spent millions trying to keep quiet. From seat map manipulation to split ticketing, these strategies exist in the gap between what's legal and what's profitable for airlines. The aviation industry relies on information asymmetry. They know the rules. You don't. And that knowledge gap generates billions in unnecessary fees and charges every year. But now you know. Will airlines eventually close these loopholes? Maybe. But every time they close one, 3 more open up because their pricing systems are too complex to fully control. The game continues. If this video just saved you hundreds on your next flight, smash that like button. Subscribe for more travel secrets that the industry doesn't want you knowing. And drop a comment telling me which trick you're trying first. Because flying smart isn't about loyalty or status, it's about understanding the game better than they think you do. Safe travels. Safe travels. Safe travels.